Hey, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in. I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in. I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go. Everybody else is like, still the weekend. You fucking up.
Yo. How's everybody doing? I'm having some technical difficulties. Give me a second. Let me get my earpiece together here. You hear me?
Yeah. Now we don't hear you no more. Now we don't hear you no more. You went out. Say something?
Okay. Hold on.
I hear you now.
Now you can hear me?
I hear you now, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
There
My
you go.
earpiece acting crazy today, y'all. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? This is Motivational Monday. First and foremost, I want to say, I know it's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you. That's an ode to our 50 years in hip hop. So I want everybody to, if you haven't gotten a chance to go to some minor situation where hip hop is concerned, I hope that you guys are doing absolutely phenomenally and doing wonderfully, but get out, get to something. I don't care if it's a park jam. I don't care if it's Rock the Bells. I don't care if it's any 50th celebration somewhere in your community. Please go on out and celebrate. It's 50 years, y'all. Some of us remember it like it was yesterday, but that goes to show you how quickly all that is gone. Now, to get to the real news at hand, which is the man to the other side of me, you know him, by the one and only name of talent. It's one of the greatest to ever do it. But bigger and better than that, it's been, 3 weeks since I think we last spoke to y'all. So a lot is happening, a lot of beautiful things and incredible things. We want to get back on our grind. Motivational Monday. How was it, King? Because I know you was on a cruise and some other things. So talk to me.
Man, there's so much to talk about that. First and foremost, speaking of 50 years of hip hop, did you have a chance to catch any of the celebrations?
Yes.
The free ones in the park. We had a couple of big ones this past week with Rock the Bells with LL and friends. And we had the big one where this 50 years of hip hop was star-studded. One was Yankee Stadium, one was right there in Queens, off the side of the Cross Island. So they were dope. You had a chance?
Yes, I had a chance to go to the Rock the Bells 2 Saturdays ago. Not this Saturday, just past the Saturday before that. I went to the Rock the Bells joint out in Queens. And when I say it was just an incredible event, I didn't get to see the entire show, but from the point that I got to see to the end, incredible. I got to see The God. I got to see Meth and Red. I got to see Ludacris. I got to see Queen Latifah, who brought out MC Light, Yo-Yo, Boney Love, Remy Ma, Rhapsody, Naughty by Nature. She brought out Big Boy and one of the dudes from the Dungeon family, destroyed it. And then the creme de la creme. I got to see the Gods, Run DMC, followed by LL Cool J. And all I can tell you is, in all fairness, to see that and to know again that we were a part of it and to play back in your head. I was in junior high when this came out. I was in high school when this came out. Sing along and just enjoy it for what it really was when I say it was incredible, but more importantly, and I say this humbly, and this is why, T and I always really, harp on this, take care of yourself. To see some of these living legends looking well and doing wonderfully was everything to me, brother. When I tell you I rapped every word of Rakim songs, every word of Redman songs, and just immersed myself in the energy of it all. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So incredible show.
Well, everybody, welcome. This is Motivation Monday. Apologies for the late start, but Motivation Monday, technical difficulties, but we got it together. This is Amir Silly. I'm your boy, Talon Harris. Sean Harvey is out this week because of the cruise. You talk about somebody overdoing it. I don't know what's wrong with Sean. Sean is a beast. Let me just say this. Cruise, phenomenal. And I'm gonna work my way up to Sean. So anybody out there listening that was part of the cruise, appreciate you. On behalf of Promoters United, my girl Diana, who pulled together several other promoters to make this thing happen. You got Rob Jackson, you got my girl Nina Dawkins, you got my girl Deborah out of Chicago. So we had, because of those different promoters, dude, we had people from Chicago, Milwaukee, Maryland, DC, Virginia, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, I'm missing somebody, Atlanta, Virginia. It was a mixture, and we in the deep. Amir, we in there with a group of 300, right? We right there by 300, 280, 290. So when they see us on the ship, they like, fuck going on there? That's kind of large, wherever they go. So needless to say, everybody's trying to be where we was, but it ain't that kind of party. If you didn't come with the group, or if you didn't buy yourself a party package, you couldn't just, one thing about this production, she did it 100% the right way, like she was home renting out a club. Even though we on a cruise ship, she had a security. She had the four top DJs. It actually was about 6, but 4 was on the payroll. Shout out to the DJs, Danny D, DJ Knuckles, crazy ass. Reminds me, I got a text Knuckles. You owe me $50 for my hats. Knuckles, Danny D, our boy DJ Jess, and my man DJ Mike Nice out of Boston. That's who was there. Shout out to Boston. So the DJ game was crazy. Comedy, the comedians hired was myself and Sean Harvey. So when a lady called, like normally when they do this shit, right? How it normally works is the most you may work 2 times. Really, people get you on there, tell you, I'm gonna give you a free cruise, just give me one big show, and that's your part of your deal. So I'm used to that. Yeah, seldomly too, but I'm used to getting on, doing one big thing, and so the lady's like, hey, I'm gonna need 4 shows. We like 4 shows. So we sitting there like, first of all, we perform it to the same audience. We don't want to do 4 of the same show, right? But come to find out, they're more parties, so the show's condensed into 30, 35 minutes. So we're not doing long. You do that 4 times. So me and Sean, I said, well, leave it up. We'll work it out. So me and Sean said, listen, this is the best idea I came up with. Show number 1, you host 10, 15 minutes, bring me up, I close 15 minutes. Show number 2, I host, bring you up. And we do that. Just go back and forth. So it's 2 times you close out, it's 2 times you host. 2 times I close out, 2 times. That shit works so perfect, bro. And comedian Ken Black was on the boat and part of the group with his wife. So he's like, yo, I'm feeling a little froggy, man. I want to do guest spots in minutes. So 2 of the shows he did, he got up. So it was even doper. They had this young dude named RJ Griffith. RJ Griffith from Chicago. He's a singer, songwriter, singer. Dude was dope as hell. It's very rare these days we get to see these new artists and they just dope. Like, they still making their way, whatever. And, you got to see the potential in them all. Back in the day, motherfuckers was dope and grabbed the mic and you was like, whoa, blown away. It's been a while. I can count on my hand. It was a young lady in Atlanta. It was this guy. And then there was another young lady in Tampa. She used to do cruises, by the way. But these 3 people, I can count on one hand. Like, these people were ready to go, like with their own show, set, and everything. So anyway, all the shows were stupendously good. The promoters above and beyond, I want to just say, like, they did their thing. They brought it, we had fun. That's without question. But they made me proud. Now, people say, oh, what do you mean they made you proud? Well, we all know you could have all type of different crowds when you promote something. And you can get somewhere and be stuck with a bougie crowd, a ghetto crowd, a crowd that embarrasses you as a black person. You're like, man, why we gotta, you know what I mean? You get any kind of crowd. The crowd we had, Amir, you talk about grown motherfuckers and doing everything right. And one of the comedians, I want to say it was Ken Black, he said it at the end. He said, I just want to take a second out to thank you guys, the crowd, especially black women. He said, I didn't see one fucking bonnet the whole cruise. He said, I know you probably own a couple, but You didn't walk around with them and make us look like, stupid black people at the airport or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. It was like, yo, we done been on here 8 damn days and ain't nobody walked through the halls or the wee hours or breakfast. Everybody kept it grown, right? And they participated in everything. They do a Shades of Blue party, they had Shades of Blue. They do all white, all white. They did a Jersey rep your team, they did that. They did a rep where you from, they did that. They did a Mardi Gras. And because we was aboard the Mardi Gras, so we were going to take theme night and do a Mardi Gras night. If you check my Instagram story, I was posting pictures as I'm doing them, and some of the outfits in the Mardi Gras, I'm cracking them. I said one was so extravagant. I said, "Well, are you bitches here for the Mardi Gras or the Lion King?" And it was that kind of festivities, and everybody had a great time. And more importantly, on my behalf, I bought a ton of merch with me, and they bought a ton of merch. And I always be happy about that beyond the dollar amount that it sells for. I'm always more happy of this is how many more people are walking around with It's Just Comedy, and talent and da da da. Like I sold a couple of these songs, like It's Just Comedy with the big C. And it was a stupendous thing. Now, let me get to Sean. I've never been more proud of Sean. Our co-host is not here today. If you tuned in late like we did, Amir's here, Talent's here, Prophet Pete's in the background, and Sean Harvey is under the weather. He probably don't have a voice. That's probably really what it is. Day one, Sean was hoarse. Like, he grabbed that mic, give it up for me, I'm fucked up. Sean. And the people are cracking up, and he's still rocking, even though he's hoarse or whatever the case may be. Now, here's the funny thing. This is why I tell people, and this is, I'm going to stop Motivation Monday on this point right here. This is why I tell people, it's always paid to be a good person no matter what. And you say, Tal, why? Well, A, because we all going to see each other multiple times. Like your parents used to tell you, the people you see on the way up, same people you're going to see on the way down. So check yourself or you wreck yourself. It's just like that. We get on this boat, Amir. Now, I know the group I'm with, so I expect to see certain people, but Rob Stapleton's on the boat with his wife. Kenny Williams happened to be on a boat with his wife. Like I tell you, Ken Black's there. One of the Carnival cruise comedians is my boy I came up with, Billy D. Washington. He's one of the comedians. Another dude, DJ Group. Like, all these people, and you run into all these people from all these different circles. Like, it was people on the boat. Oh, man, we went to see you every time you come to D.C. Yo, man, when you come back to Atlanta, we went to see the da-da-da. And because you carry yourself a certain way and you're a decent person, it's okay to rerun into people because you ain't never got to worry about them. There you go. Yeah, we should fuck you up. Yeah, ain't do nothing. Point number one, people, this is why you always got to keep the consistency of who you really are. Like, don't give off false appearances because you might be around a different crowd this week. You might be hanging with different people this week. Who you are should always be who you are. And the people who you come in contact with or come around, I don't give a fuck if you on vacation or passing to another city or whatever, they should reflect that same energy, what you originally got. Because sometimes people get hurt or get caught in the middle of something that ain't meant for them just because they was hanging around some energy they shouldn't have been on. For me, it's a common practice where I, when I go city to city, I want to know if the dude that I hook up in with Milwaukee, how he living out here. Niggas looking for this nigga, or is he on the up and up? Is he cool, whatever? Because I'm here for a day or two, and I don't want to get caught up in some shit that this dude been doing for years. So it's very important that you know your status quo, you know your energy. Basically, you know how you move and how you get down. And it pays to pay attention to when you're around others to make sure they fit and join in on that criteria. Do you agree with what I'm saying though? Like groups?
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny that you say that, T, because to your point about, again, us not necessarily being able to do the show for the last 3 weeks. So, I have been, like you said, I went to an all-white affair Saturday. I went to the hip hop situation. I didn't get to the Yankee Stadium one, which, seems like everybody and their mother who I know was there at that particular event. But I bring that to the conversation because you're absolutely right. I keep telling people that you have to really understand your group of friends. Everybody can't be around everybody. It's not because they're not good people. It's not because, your friends are weird and this and that and the third. It's because energy begets energy. And to be clear and to be fair, you have to know which parts of your energy or which groups of your energy can be around other groups of your energy, and it goes seamless without no hiccups, without no what you call it, because there are, to the point that you made earlier in your conversation, there's the bougie crowd, there's the hood crowd, there's this, there's that, and people for whatever reason get caught up in the, I'm bigger, I'm better, I know more, I've done this. I went back to Chop House last Tuesday, just passed, and some of my boys was like, "Yo, come through." Matter of fact, it was Gab's birthday, Foxy's younger brother. So I said I'd go through, show some love for Gab. Turns out, Melissa Ford was there, so I never met her in person, but she was in the section, whatever. We chopped it up, we laughing, we got into a whole conversation about posing and how when we take pictures. She said, "Why do guys always take pictures the same way?" I said, "Because unlike women, we really don't know what to do when it comes to taking pictures." I said, "Y'all, think about it, T. They have all kind of things in their head. Like, you got to get me from the right angle. I got to, lift my leg." And dudes don't do that. I ain't never seen one of my dudes be like, "Yo, son, you have to take that again. I ain't sucking my stomach." Dudes don't care about none of that stuff. I said, we got one or two poses. It's the point pose, like we pointing to our men. It's the two fingers. That's it. After we get past that, there's nothing else for us to do. So when I tell you, her and this other young lady was crying when I was explaining that to them, they was like, "Yo, that is the best." I said, "I'm just being honest." I said, we just don't think of it like that. I said, "Y'all really put thought into into how y'all pose. We guys are just like, 'Yo, take the picture, son. Try to move on to the next thing." So we laughed about that. But the reason why I bring her into the conversation is because she turned out to be such a really sweet, down to earth person. And so many people are afraid to say something to her and approach her. And when I say we're sitting there just cracking jokes and laughing, she said, "Amir, something else I want to know." She said, "Why do dudes wear shades in the club?" I said, "I've never understood that one. You got me." I said, "When you find out, please let me." You know what I'm saying, T? It was just a regular dope conversation with somebody who has made her impact on the industry based off of her energy and what she's brought to the table. So I say that to say, be mindful of that, y'all. When you out here and getting factions together, whether it's friends, whether it's family, everybody can't mesh with everybody. And like I said, it's not a good or a bad thing. It's a reality thing. But don't mess up your event because these cousins don't like your friends. I'll invite y'all to something else because I don't need y'all here messing up this event. This event is special to me. And as friends, we should learn how to be able to disseminate. I know so many people who, well, I didn't get invited to this, and you just show up. Don't do that. If you didn't get invited, chances are you weren't meant to be there, and it's okay. You have other things on your table and on your plate that you probably need to, take care of, and don't allow the fact that you weren't there mess with your head and have you thinking to yourself, "Well, why did they invite me?" It's okay. You got other things to do.
Right, and here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Everybody got people, like groups of friends that they can't hang together. We talked about that in the past. Like, I know a ton of people, and even though I would hang with all of them, I wouldn't hang with all of them together because they're going to mix, they're going to clash. In some cases, just fucking point out blank, this guy don't like that guy, or that guy don't like his family, whatever. But they're all cool people to me, but I also know that they different. Like, I got some motherfuckers I go out with, man, I'm going to have to sip on a little wine. Have a little beer in a glass, But then I got my niggas I go out with, there's beers in a fucking bottle and chase that tequila, nigga. But my point is, it is like this. What's funny is, it don't even matter if they male or female. Because I got platonic female friends that still other platonic female friends don't get along with. Same with the dudes. They just don't get along. And I think that resonates with a lot of people. Like, and if it doesn't resonate with you, either you have a low thread count of friends. I love that shit, that low thread. You got a low thread count of friends, or you don't go out a lot. or don't have, you know what I mean? Like, but most people, let's say the average person has at least 8 to 12 friends total that they can call friends, right? They're not hanging with all 8, 12 of them. You know, let me say this because it's caveat and exceptions to the rule. The only time you might see all these niggas is a funeral or a wedding or a graduation, or you know what I mean, like a thing, or if it's family, a family reunion. But just we talking about general hanging out, because I know some people are like, oh no, we always at the funeral. Yeah, nigga, you had to be there. The nigga died. So, but in just generally hanging, people with their share of friends, and I'll say like the upper number. So I'll say people with 6 or better have these issues, if you will, when I'm talking about what we're discussing right now. People with 3, 4 friends that they really call friends, maybe not. But if you got 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, yeah, you got to separate that shit. Monday is nothing like Thursday.
True story. You're absolutely right, T. You know, and like you said, it's so funny because, you know, I realized even, you know, like I said, leading up to all of these, you know, hip hop celebrations, I was up in the Bronx, you know, Friday night, and to that, you know, Glen Roy's hole in the wall, you know, just drinking. And some of the people came in and they was like, Amir, you pre-gaming. So I was like, what y'all talking about? They was like, you know, the concert's tonight. In my mind, the concert was Saturday night. So I wasn't even thinking about, you know, to join the Yankee Stadium. They're like, nah, son, the concert's tonight. I'm like, you know what, guys? I didn't even, that wasn't even in my brain at all. I said, because I did the Rock the Bells thing and I'm still trying to recoup from that, if I'm going to be honest. I said, at this stage in my life, you know, trying to go to concerts all night and all that, I'm not wired like that no more. I said, I'm a day party guy now, for real, for real. I said, and I don't feel bad. You hit me with a, yo, it's going to start at 11. Okay, well, that's good, man. I hope you have a good time. And just call me tomorrow and tell me how everything went, because I'm not going to stay up and try to, you know, be over the top with the hanging tough and all that. I'm not doing that no more. It's a rare occasion. Like you said, it got to be somebody's birthday. And I mean somebody who I love. Like, oh, yeah, dog, I'm not. We catch me next week. We do something in the middle of the week. You know, that kind of thing. But to be having people dying with that, they'd be like, man, they say, you're not old. I said, yeah, in years, no. But in hanging wise, I'm like 172. Y'all don't know. I done put in a lot of years in these streets, you know. So we just making people laugh. But again, I think that, you know, you're absolutely right. We have to, you know, monitor the relationships of our friends, because sometimes, you know, so many people just don't get along. And to me, a lot of it is for the dumbest and the most simple reasons. That's something else that I think, you know, I'm hoping that you guys will work on. You know, in the same time frame, you know, that Talon and I are speaking about, I lost a very good childhood friend of mine on the 27th of last month. And I didn't even know. And this to show you how, you know, hard life can be. She called me probably the week before and asked me to book a trip for her. And she said, me and my husband, you know, we want to go to Jamaica, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, stuff got away from me. I just, you know, things going on. So I didn't get a chance to get back to her. One of my other team, you know, one of my other partners called me and said, yo, how you holding up? I said, hold on, what you talking about? He said, yo, blah, 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 passed. I said, what? Went on the young lady's page and I'm seeing all the information, you know, people saying, yeah, she passed. Blah, blah. So, you know, as always, you know, me in particular, I always tell y'all, you know, check in on your friends, man. I know that it seems like it might be a tedious thing to do. It seems like it may be something that's, you know, not the greatest thing to do, but you got to check in only because unfortunately, we at that stage and at that age where people are passing away from a number of things. It ain't always just cancer. It ain't always, you know, some of the things that we hear. We may have not had a checkup in a while. So there might be something going on, you know, inanely within us that we don't know. And unfortunately, it surfaces, you know, without us really understanding or knowing it. Talon can tell you, our very good friend, you know, his brother in the business, you know, I finally did, you know, get to speak to Ray, and he was like, man, you know, I appreciate you calling, but, you know, we just don't know, man. We at that stage and at that age. Look, I don't know about you, T, but I spend half my time sometimes getting out of bed. Why is that hurting? All I did was sleep. Did I play ball in my sleep? How I sprained my ankle in my sleep? Dude.
No, that was me the day before the last day of the cruise. Like by the evening, bro, my joints was just like, you know, I didn't realize how much standing and walking you do in those 7-8 days. So I'm like, yeah, I thought about that day in particular. I'm like, yo, today was you on these motherfuckers almost 12 straight. Like you're doing it. I was like, and it was just like, it's crazy because I can't really ever know a time when the actual body of the leg are sore. Maybe back you play football, you wake up the next day sore. But I mean, for no reason, just like the body it's sore. I'm like, listen, I had to pay a young lady $2 to rub these motherfuckers out. But anyway, yeah. So let me reset. Welcome to Motivation Monday once again. If you're tuning in late, Amir's here, Talent's here, Private Pete's here, Sean Harvey, because we just came off a cruise a day ago, is down for the count. That means I won because we both were funny. But I survived. I'm on the show. I walked to my desk and set up and got this done. The nigga's done. So feel better, Sean. Get you on here next Monday. Next Monday he'll be back. I think I'll be out next Monday because I got Kenny Williams cruise, but okay. Sean can hold down the fort. All right, so let's go to some news real quick because this kind of made me scratch my head, and this is some funny shit. This is some modern day slavery shit. Now, I don't know if you've been privy. So it comes out, the man comes out. I don't know where he's going with this shit because I didn't fully go into it, whether he's trying to sue or write I don't know. There was a movie made called The Blind Side. The movie The Blind Side was based off a true story, ladies and gentlemen. This African-American young man, down on his luck, damn near home, walking around. White family, white couple pick him up, bring him in, take him in, get him into the school, Ole Miss. Long story short, supposedly adopted this guy, got him on Ole Miss. He becomes a great football player, learns the game, goes to, I believe, the Baltimore Ravens, becomes one of those dudes. Now, they call it the blind side because of the position he played. It's considered the blind side of the quarterback, going in as a defense, whatever. So he comes out, Amir, recently and says, yo, fuck that. This niggas tricked me. So he said, come to find out, they never adopted him like they told him. They tricked him into signing what is called a conservatorship. A conservatory is some people it's kind of similar to Guardian, but it's really more geared around watching your money and controlling your money and funds or whatever. So basically, they enriched themselves by having a judge and having him sign it because he thought he was signing to get, adopted into the family. And really, they were just doing a conservatory. So they become the conservatorship with him and control the money coming and going. So that's why they got him in the Ole Miss. They got him into football. They got him in the NFL. And all that money was being regulated by him because you got to realize they got him to do this, again, as a minor. So now I'm looking at this shit. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Michael Orr. Michael Orr played for the Baltimore Ravens. But look this story up if you're not familiar. I said to myself, after letting this sink in a little bit, I said, yo, this shit is like slavery. Because back in the day when a white person owned a black person, kind of worked out the same way. You were responsible for them. You know what I'm saying? You try to keep it healthy, obviously, because you want all the work you can get out of them, whatever. This is very similar to that. We got this biggest black dude. They look at the size of this nigga like he ain't doing shit. We're gonna put this motherfucker in a sport. Let's throw this motherfucker. You're a little heavy on weight, so we can't throw you in basketball right now. Throw him in football, blah, 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 blah. Teach him a game. What do you gotta do? Da, da, da. And it worked. It panned out. And the story seemed so phenomenal and flabbergasting. It made it to a big screen. Let's make a movie about this shit. But I think, and I could be wrong, could be my little personal spew on it and direction looking. What do you think? Do you think this is close to comparing that or not?
It's so funny. See, obviously the comparison is almost spot on. The real challenge in any and all of this is, which is always a challenge for us, is unfortunately we are not doing our part to protect ourselves. I know that, financial literacy and or just, preparing yourself for the world. Everybody, especially in our community, we have so many excuses. Dad wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. I was raised by my grandmother, all these various things. But I try to believe, or I'd like to believe that, we have so many examples of things similar to this that go on in the community on a regular basis. Why is it we don't pay attention to the models that we see that are similar to this and then go, you know what, maybe there's some similarities here. Maybe I need to look at this a little bit closer and or see if, what is transpiring here is, what I hoped it to be and what I want it to be. And I think to your point with this, story in particular, it works out to be something along those lines. What is disheartening and what is saddens me about it is, to your exact point, we're in 2023 and this is still things that are happening that are, unfortunate for all communities involved. If you really are, and I don't know what the faith of the, people are who supposedly were taking care of them are, but, there's all this talk of church and, doing the godly like thing. Is it really? Or was it an opportunity for you to come up and for you to be okay, like you said, from a financial standpoint? Because the reality of it all, and I always say this no matter what the form of entertainment is, the entertainers are the ones doing all the work. You don't get out there and stand on stage and rock the mic, whether it's singing or telling jokes. The comedian does it or the singer does it. Same thing for sports. I never shot a jump shot a day in my life on a professional stage. So what gives me the right to say, you know what, this person does or doesn't deserve, these kind of props and accolades when they put in the work? The one thing that I'm finding as we get older, and at least from the stories that I've managed to follow when it comes to these athletes and when it comes to these entertainers, is the work that they put in to get to where they got to. And I know that everybody doesn't think that that's such a big deal, but that's the only deal. Because without that hard work, without that determination, without that, I don't know if you saw, but our boy D Wade got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he said he's gone his whole career by a mantra, a Japanese mantra that says, you fall 7 times, you get up 8. That's what life is, y'all. It's the constant finding things within yourself to keep you motivated to get to whatever your next level is. But please don't be sidetracked and don't let people and things take you away from what your goal is, and or take away from what hard work you put in to make that goal possible for yourself. Now, granted, as Talent shared, this particular couple helped them along the way. They, gave them an opportunity to have a home and all this stuff. But that doesn't give you the right to then take the man's profits or put him in a situation where now he has to question what your real intentions were. And it is unfortunate because these things make it to the big screen. And again, T, this is me speaking for me. There's no disrespect to anybody. I think helping out people when they're in need is something that we should all technically do.
I agree.
If you're capable of doing it. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm saying if you're capable of doing it. But the benefits of it should come just by there being benefits of it, meaning that person says, you know what, Talent, based off the fact that, man, you helped me, blah, 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 I feel compelled to do A, B, C, and D to or for you. Not you asked for it, not it was given to you. It was done because that person said, if it were not for your talents and for your efforts and for the way that you treated me, maybe when I had nothing or when I was trying to figure some of this out, I just want to show you that I appreciate it. And I don't think that that is spoken about enough. And I don't think that people understand that concept. We are such a tit for tat or a give for services rendered world, because we, have so much money that we think about. Everything's about money. Everything's about, having bread. And a lot of it isn't about just, you know what? I was in a position to be able to do something phenomenal for somebody. I'm thankful that I was. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this for this person. And whatever blessings come of it, they come of it. You speak about that all the time, the bank of karma. And I don't think that people, again, really understand how powerful that bank really is and what it's capable of doing when you give yourself the opportunity to do the right thing. You know what I mean?
No, no,
Like,
no. I exactly agree with you. I mean, it's unfortunately, I remember saying this to somebody, and they damn sure didn't get it right away. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I got it. So just do that shit because I'm gonna get this back. I said, bro, it's not. You can't do it going in with that intent like that. And you blocking your own blessings because you didn't do it for the right reason. If I'm walking in the street and a homeless guy get the cup out, I go, oh, let me put 10 in here because I'm gonna get thousands somewhere this week. That's all wrong. My intent is to help this person out right now. Right now, he looks like he could use something to eat, or maybe hydrate with some water or some, libation. Here you go, bro. I hope you have a better day because there's 10s in there. You know what I mean? And try to temporarily for that moment soothe that wound, if you will, address that wound and help this person for that intent. Now, if you're that type of person in general, I and my belief of karma don't work like, oh, I'm gonna do this for that, and it's going to no. My thing of karma is this is who you are. You're a person who, when you can help, you help. You know what I mean? So because you're that person, karma wraps around the highway, around the belt, come back around. Make sure you get a little sprinkle or something. You waiting on something. Make sure you good. Make sure you have a blessed day or whatever case may be, because you put that in the universe. A lot of people do it for the wrong ulterior motive, and those people, you're never going to prosper that way. I can guarantee you it's not going to work out for you that way ever in a day. But yeah, I totally agree with that. Going to shift the gears one more time because we've been talking about, first of all, happy birthday to hip hop. We grew up on hip hop. Hip hop is our generation, anyways, the music that raised us. Our parents was raised on more soul music, blues, jazz, and then it trickled into R&B, what I would consider R&B, and then we got the remnants of R&B going into hip hop. And depending on how old you are, a little disco in there, all that. But talking to 50 years of hip hop, let's talk about hip hop. Let's talk positive about hip hop. Off the top of your head, Amir, what artists would you put? Let's make a positive list of hip hop motherfuckers that was positive for the culture. Okay. And I don't give a fuck about what else they did in life. We're talking about hip hop for the culture. They made a fucking jaywalk 7,000 times, got 20 parking tickets and petty larceny. I don't know about all that. As hip hop, as a historian and a person who lived through it like myself, you throw one, I throw one. Let's go back and forth. Artists, I'm gonna start it off with Russell Simmons.
Okay. I like
Russell Simmons. I know he's thrown into question and he's living abroad and the daughters and the family. I don't give a fuck about all that. For the culture, this man, way ahead of his time, was figuring out how to start a label. We didn't have that. We were under the white umbrella, heavy duty, when he came out with the Run DMCs and all that. Def Jam was under Profile Record, all that. The whole history we watch unfold. But I think, as great as that is, because if we go down the Def Jam catalog, come on, dog. This man and the people he put on, his constituency is stupid, ridiculous for the culture of hip hop. But why I would pick him first, though, let me say this. Because the motherfucker turned around and replicated the same formula in comedy.
Yes.
He ushered in a wave of the same thing, same culture, but in comedy, with Def Comedy Jam, that would turn into the number one thing in the world and change the landscape as we knew it in stand-up comedy.
I agree with you. Okay, so from the hip hop standpoint, always got to go with my first group, PE. Public Enemy, man, was till this day. It's certain songs that come on. I don't care what I'm doing. I have to chime in, sing along, and act as though I'm in that era all over again immediately. So PE rings high up there for me.
So they hit the height of the chart for you.
Yes.
And I agree with what you said, because your Public Enemy, like when it comes on, it definitely transcends you to a different place. And that's what I loved about hip hop, period, because all of these variations took you somewhere and made something different. I'm gonna throw Heavy D out.
Okay.
And not
Okay.
just for, I knew him and Mount Vernon and all that, but for a bigger reason. So when we grew up hip hop had a knack for, like you just said, PE, creating a vibe, and we follow that vibe for a certain amount of time. Like, it's like that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We scared to change it. This works. Do another one of these. Don't fuck with it. Da 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 da. And here comes this hipster, the White Myers, aka Heavy D. And he said, I ain't got a curse. We out there, yeah, fucking nigga, you get you suck with dick in the bitch with the fat ass, the titties. And Hev came in there with this smooth shit. Hev was, I guarantee you, she might not admit to it, but you can't tell me Lizzo ain't inspired by Heavy D. Heavy D was a big boy, came into a gang with a bunch of little dudes, either cut up or fatigued out, or, hip hop had a look or two. And Hev came in with a whole different thing. This is what we gonna do. Same thing Puff would do later, Hev did early on. This is what we gonna do. We're gonna change it up. We're gonna have dope R&B hooks on our shit. We're gonna be dancing. We're gonna be fucking practicing and sweating and shit. And the ladies gonna love us. And we're gonna do classy shit. So I would throw Hev out.
Okay.
Because right
So
after that, he did that, a lot of that shit started coming right behind.
so before I give my next one, I have to give a nod to Heavy D too. T didn't mention this, but I think Heavy also was the first hip hop artist to me that ushered in
Michael
our
Jackson.
parents.
Oh,
No, our
yeah.
parents starting
Parents,
to
right.
say, you know what? Maybe this music isn't so bad. I kind of like this young man. I don't know who he is, but I kind of like this young man. So I'm a nod to that. My next group that I'm gonna put in the mix is Houdini, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Ooh.
Houdini, if you go back and you listen to, I don't even know which album it is, but the one that's got Big Mouth, Friends, Freaks Come
Mm-hmm.
Out at Night, and
That shit was
all of
crazy.
those 5 minutes of funk. All of those songs are timeless and are prevalent now. So when you talk about positivity and you talk about, giving information and or giving us something, for the culture, Houdini has to be up there on the list just for their contributions alone with those classic songs.
Okay. No, I can't. There's no wrong answer here, first of all. But you can't argue with fucking Houdini. Like, Fresh Fest, bro. Fresh Fest. So when you say Houdini, just say Fresh Fest. Two things come to mind: Fresh Fest and motherfucking 5 minutes of funk.
Yeah.
The song was exactly 5 minutes of funk. Um, my next one I'm gonna throw out there, and I guess, and here's the thing, people, with the little names that we throw out today, is not a swipe on anything else because we're gonna continue this again because it's all year long. So we're just starting here. Um, I would have to throw Stetson Sonic in the mix, and let me tell you why I fucks with Stetson Sonic. Because again, here comes another thing, ushering in the thing. There was no hip hop bands. The roots came later.
Yes.
When you talk about Stetson Sonic, this was a fucking hip hop band. Niggas playing instruments, three fucking rapping dudes up front, production. Like, and you come in again, you come into something where people are, I want to say set in their ways, but they were. Like hip hop, again, it had a way of grabbing a fad, holding on to it for a long time. Everybody rode that line, and the general consensus was, don't fuck with it. Keep it as is. This is cool. So that person that jumps over that gate and go, listen to this shit though. And we go, yo, you got to give them credit because they ushering in some new shit. That will
Yeah.
soon, you don't have the roots, you don't have Stetson Sonic.
True.
But they showed that was possible. And hip hop was, we didn't even know he was ready. And we end up being ready. And they come out and they do the thing. They take the fucking music by storm in the airwaves. Stetson Sonic. Who you got?
Okay. I'm gonna have to go with another classic group, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, because the song "The Message," let's aside from Melly Mel, because we know that that's some of the greatest ever written rhyme ever in the history of the game. But the impact that Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five had on hip hop, period, because those gentlemen in particular showed us and probably was some of the early storytellers in the game. And by that, I meant they painted such vivid pictures of what we appeared to be going through in our communities and in our neighborhoods. Everything from the big screen TV to basketball, and so forth and so on. And it gave us an inside look into things that we wanted to talk about, but hadn't yet figured out how to, bring to the world. So I think that Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 have to be up there in the conversation, like you said, for positivity.
Okay, well, I got two more for your ass.
Okay.
Next one I'm gonna go with Run DMC. And again, all these reasons today is because I call my list today the Usher Board, if you will. Another group that ushered in and transcended hip hop. You know how you said about Heavy D and making the older people kind of like, you know what? And which is true. No lie. Where's the lie on that, right? But here's the funny thing with that is Run DMC did that to me, in my opinion, to the white world. They did the same way your grandmother loved and said, oh, maybe this is about something good. Run DMC did that to our counterparts. So the white people with rock and roll and pop and all the shit that didn't really respect hip hop to the fullest, when they collabed and did Mary, Mary and Walk This Way and all that shit, they ushered in a new era of where hip hop could go. Look at fast forward. Jay-Z in the future would do his shit with Rick Rubin. 99 Problems and the bitch ain't one.
Yeah.
This come from somebody showing you the way, bro.
Yeah.
And not only that, they were so dope. They ushered in a line of fashion between what they wore with the black leather, the blazers, the Adidas with no laces. Look, man, no shoelaces. They fucking ushered in so much shit, just like I said with Russell, because Russell really left that part out. He got fashion. Russell had the music, and he did it with comedy, and he turned around with fashion. And there's so many other things like media and credits and banks, and he just kept redoing that same thing, which was kind of crazy. So Run DMC, bro.
Okay. So, I gotta say this because as I watched the Rock the Bells concert, one of the things that I took away was watching each artist and realizing how impactful and how powerful they were. So the God MC, I gotta throw on here because, as I said, I went to the Rock the Bells concert. What I found interesting is Raw is only up there. It's just him and a mic. There's no dancers. The DJ's not going crazy. It's just the God MC spitting for you. And you either knowing the lyrics and spitting them too, or standing there like, what am I witnessing? Because this is bananas. And again, he's one of those, it's funny how we, talking about not only positivity, but these people impacted the game. He changed rhymes cadence. He changed how cats rhyme. He literally came in and changed all of that. Before that, everybody was screaming on the mic. Cats had a certain cadence, and Rod came in with some cool, smooth joint that had all of us like, wait, we could be smooth with this tone? And I'll say this, because he had on a tough white with the Gucci sign down the...
Yeah, I seen it. Nice.
Yo. Big Daddy Kane mentioned he's 54, so he's the same age as me and you, T. I'm sure the God is somewhere in and around that age as well. But what I thought about it, I said, this might be one of the coolest dressed old head B-boys ever in the history of the game. Because Ross still comes out there with the cap low, the sweatsuit, and still looks like, I do this for real, guys, which I want.
Yeah, that he's my favorite rapper of all time. So is not to be remiss that this list, like I said, this is game-changing list where, Rakim just came on board. He's way ahead of his time. He's a fucking imperial lyricist, and he's my favorite rapper. People say who's the best. Rakim's the best in my world, right? So no argument there. You're absolutely right. And I seen that footage, and somebody captioned that there was technical difficulties or something, and then he came in and just you forgot all about that shit by the time and I watched. I'm like, well, he killed it. So that's a good one. My last one today. I'm gonna bring it close to the vest again, and I'm gonna give it to DMX. And I'm gonna say this because I think DMX blatantly, whether he knew what he was doing or not, is irrelevant. He blatantly did a juggling act that we haven't seen in hip hop, and to me, that's one of the biggest chances you can take in entertainment. This man was the music great, yeah, but he came in and did a hardcore thing that was different. It was this hood criminal b-boy pit bull dwelling, shirts off, I'll rob you, crackhead, like it have drug addicted. But not only did he make this hit, this is not we ain't see before where the industry takes these people who are strung out on drugs and put out this great music. We've seen that part before. But what we haven't seen before is a person put it in his music and put it on Front Street to let you know what he's going through. And bare his soul the way DMX did. And I'm not talking about like one time. Ain't no one record. Oh, I'm fucked up on crack. I'm talking about threaded throughout his whole pipeline of music of, yeah, nigga, I'm battling these demons, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just put turkeys in the hood and fed 1,000 kids in my projects, but I want to shoot this nigga across the street. I'm just holding myself back. I saved these people from drowning, but I ain't gonna front. I want to go take some crack and go in the corner. Like he bore the soul. Like he put all that shit on the line for us to judge or not judge or whatever. And it didn't really hit me until the Hard Knock Life tour, where I got to see him in person. And to be in there, I don't know if anybody's ever been. You're in the arena or the place where he goes. When he goes into himself, it's so real and so deep. It's those moments in there, bro. And you say to yourself, especially me as an artist, like, damn, could I bear my soul that fucking deep, bro? I don't think so. Like, if I was a cracker, would I get up there in comedy like, hey, I'm gonna leave some crack? I don't think so. I think I would be one of those artists that had the facade and on the low, I'm the cracker. This dude didn't do that. So I'm DMX, bro.
It's so funny. The only other thing I would add to, what you said too, was his also real sense of God. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not overly, God-like person. I'm spiritual, but I'm not a, church and heavy. But he was heavy with that as well. And I think that that's something else that added to, like you said, his realness and what made DMX such a interesting character. Because, like you said, just as much as he talked about, the demons that he was fighting, he was also up there in prayer. Hey, I'm gonna need y'all to say this prayer with me.
Right.
Check what was on, and it had you like, wow,
It's
you know
crazy.
what I mean? So I absolutely agree with you.
Give me one more.
One more from the positive side of things. Let me think. I gave a couple of groups. Let me think about artists solo. I'm gonna use this gentleman because to me, he brought storytelling to the next level for the generations that we and you are closer to, which is Slick Rick. And I say Slick Rick because his storytelling and his ability to give us, again, paint these vivid pictures or tell stories in a way that you listening to the record, but you can picture literally every single solitary thing that he's talking about. Like you're sitting there like Johnson's baby powder and my polo cologne, fresh dressed like $1,000,000, threw on my fried green socks, stepped out my house, stopped short. Oh no, I went back in, I forgot my Kango, and then I dally. Like his ability to just tell these stories had us so mesmerized. And then his counterparts, meaning the people who obviously they influenced each other, the Dana Danes of the world. I'm trying to figure, I don't know if Super Rhymes was first or he came after Slick Rick, but You got super rhymes. You know what I'm saying? So there was this, this influx of really great rappers who told incredible stories. And when you listen to them, even now, you go to yourself, this is a well put together story and rhyme. This isn't some false thing. Slick Rick just had you, and even his guest appearances on, to a point that you also made earlier about R&B records. He did such a heck of a job being on R&B records where he gave that same energy and that same flow that had you like, oh, okay, hold on, Slick, hold on, sir, you're killing him right now.
Yeah, Slick, I mean, he definitely put his flair on it. Slick was one of those dudes that he's one of those artists that I had the obvious hits, right? The ones that we all love. But if you really listen to his albums, you can't truly appreciate him if you don't go into the albums, because it's so deeper than what we're talking about to really understand what we're saying. So yeah, no argument there. Just to recap in closing, Motivation Monday celebrated 50 years of hip hop and the positive pieces of hip hop. Russell Simmons, Public Enemy, Heavy D, Houdini, Stetson Sonic, Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five, Run DMC, Rakim the God Allah, DMX, and Slick Rick was today's top 10. And I think we're always going to come up with some sporadically throughout the year just to keep commemorating and celebrating 50 years of hip hop. This has been another Motivation Monday. Again, apologies for technical difficulties. We started about 7-8 minutes late. We're ending 7 minutes late as well. So you didn't get chipped at all. That's my good friend, Amir Silly. I'm Talon Harris. Sean Harvey's out today, a little under the weather. He'll be back next week. Like I said, man, I'm going to say this. I love you to death, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Amir?
You know me. It's nice to be important, but it's much more important to be nice, y'all. Keep running with those two ideologies. Keep motivating yourself. Keep motivating the people that you love and you care about. And it's simple. A text message, a quick phone call. Maybe it's a funny video. Whatever it is, send that to your people, because you don't know what they're going through. And everybody's going through something. So don't be so hard on the people who don't respond and get right back to you. They're trying to figure it out too. I love y'all. Motivational Monday. We already almost at the end of summer. So get out there and enjoy this weather too. Don't get cooped up in the house and you can be mad because it's back to cold weather and you can't go anywhere.
See y'all next Monday, y'all. Prophet Pete, take us out. God bless. Okay.
It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then, this is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with a taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everybody else is like, still the weekend, you fucking go.